Q, what's going on with this, man? You too old to be a YN. What's happening here?
Listen, we was in Vegas and we just ran up on some of the locals and told them, "Hey, check it out." We and we got one, but we came back home with that W. I'm never too old to
No,
be a YN
no,
for the Bears, as long as it resulted in a win.
no cap on that one. For those that are listening, audio only, Q was in all black, sporting the shiesty,
With gloves. I ain't leaving no fingerprints.
and and the OJs. He making sure that if there's anything left behind, it's only the DNA. But yeah, Q, that's a good way to start the show, man, because the Bears definitely got away with one. They stole that
You
one.
know what? I don't feel the least bit guilty. Non-Bears fans, oh, lucky, oh, fluke. You know what? Last year, we lost a game on a blocked field goal. Last year, we lost a
Mm,
game on a Hail Mary. Last year, we lost a
mm,
game on mismanaging timeouts. I don't feel guilty because I feel
mm,
like this is just the universe balancing itself out, and it's karma for what Eberflus did to us last year. We deserve it.
Say that shit again, man. We definitely it's been too long. We didn't give too many gifts to everybody
Yeah,
else
it's
in the
time
league.
for us
It's
to get
time
the
we
gift
start
back.
getting some gifts.
I'll take
Right.
Christmas in September. What about you?
Give me Christmas every
You're
month.
right.
I want gifts all the time. I want the Bears to get treated like how Tiff treats the month of September. Her birthday all month
Is
long.
she still out Virgoing Vegas?
Yeah, man. She a little mermaid right now, man. Every time she posted, she was in the water in somebody's bar. I was
Was she a
like,
mermaid or was she a fairy?
like,
Because I think last month they were all fairies.
You're full of shit.
hey, you know
Whatever
what?
happened
She might
to
be
the
the
fairy
first
girl?
ever.
That was all on
I don't know.
TikTok. The little fairy trend and the fairy song. I thought she was gonna be the next Sexy Red.
I don't know who sung that song, and all I know is I got tired of hearing that damn sound.
Somebody from Wisconsin.
Well, okay, that tracks
Definitely makes sense. There's a lot of
very much so.
non-talented people and things in Wisconsin right now. A lot of fraudulent things
And fairies.
and fairies. Apparently, some of the fairies play in the Packers defense.
Is that right? You know what? It's a new era because it used to just be quarterbacks.
Packers fans been jumping up and down, screaming about 2-0 and Super Bowl, here we come, and you struggle with the Cowboys to a tie.
They didn't. Yeah, they didn't struggle. They damn near lost. In fact, I'm gonna
You know
call it.
what?
You lost to Dallas
That
if you tied with
that is
them.
a loss. You're right. They didn't struggle. It was two teams on equal footing having a game at themselves. Two equally talented football teams. Didn't we just beat that team by more than 2 touchdowns and pretty much kind of dominate them? Belt. I think we even pulled starters in that game.
Didn't need to play the whole star. In fact, we didn't even have a team full of starters.
Right. We
Came in
don't
the
have
building.
our starters because half of them are still hurt.
Sucks to be Packers. They had a team full of starters and gave up 40 to the Dallas Cowboys. Whoop-de-doo. But yeah, some people might say the same thing for the Bears. You know, this game against the Las Vegas Raiders was just two teams, equal footing, having a little struggle match. Call it what you like. Oh, I'm not apologizing for a win. You get them how you get them. Yeah. Sundays are difficult. And if you can exit Sunday and have a win to talk about on Monday, you did a damn good job. I don't care how it happened. Unless you're Skylar Thompson. His team exited Sunday with a win. They're talking about win on Monday, but he took an L. He took an L on Sunday.
What did Skylar do? What happened to Skylar?
Well, over there I guess he went down the wrong block in Dublin, Ireland, and got hit over the head. They ran his pockets over there.
Not American friendly. They will get down on you. Skylar, he has a. Is that like that's like a Irish or Scottish name, isn't it? He thought he was good there, didn't he? Well, what is Skylar?
I don't know. I have no idea the origins of the name Skylar. I would not think his old country. I would think that's definitely an American creation.
You could be right. You could be right. Well, you got to stay out them Irish streets. They drink and they fight. They ain't got no blickies, but they drink and they throw hands.
Sometimes they don't even need to be drunk before they throw.
They don't, but it's much better if you're drunk. You bleed more
Mm-hmm.
profusely and it hurts less. It has Dutch origins, by the way. I just had the fact.
Dutch?
Yeah. Dutch origin.
Wow.
I guess he thought he was good over there because the Netherlands isn't too far from the UK, and they sip tea with the finger out and have prime ministers.
And prime ministers. I don't want to victim blame, but do you think Scott was over there, talking greasy about Guinness, and then somebody they had to show him what's what?
He probably
They had
did
to
say
drag him
something about
outside
their
and
beer. It's nasty, and that's what happened to him. He should have got his butt on that flight, went home. But Aaron,
eh,
he's a Steeler quarterback, and what we know of Aaron is he isn't very kind to the quarterbacks behind him or ahead of him. So,
mm,
Aaron might have
mm.
dropped his low, had his people, paid somebody. What do they call it in British? The jet too high, pounds. He might have gave them 50 pounds per person, and they went upside Scholar head. Don't ever challenge me for reps in practice again.
I mean, that's a good. It's not a bad shout. From everything we've heard about certain quarterbacks' history, can't you can't dismiss it, especially if you was a lifelong Packer quarterback. You you're prone to be a criminal. So I mean, we're just speculating here. We're not breaking any news. I'm just saying. I mean, might want to look into that.
Feel free to run with it. News can be generated from any source, and there is no verification of the sources. So if you want to use what I said as fact, that is perfectly fine with me. It's the American way, America.
Well, you're right. Facts don't matter anymore. So well, I mean, let's look at it from the other side. Aaron didn't have anything to do with it. Maybe it was just a bunch of guys out there looking to, you know, rob a Steelers quarterback. I'm just gonna say this: you got the wrong one.
You got the wrong one. But I don't think Aaron has enough balls to walk into a bar with the locals. He's not doing that. Now, if the locals were getting high off hallucinogenics, then Aaron is there. You got drugs, Aaron's there. Mushrooms, peyote.
Is huffing paint legal in Ireland?
I don't think it's legal here, but they can't really stop you from buying it to do it. But if they catch you, I think huffing paint and what's the one with the Cool Whips, the Whippums, where you huff the I guess it gets you high if you breathe in the fumes from the whipped cream bottle. I don't want to give anybody ideas that's listening to the show. And I probably just started off a new drug trend. Lord, kids don't do drugs. Got to get back on task. We have good things to talk about again for the second week in a row.
Cute. One word to describe this Bears 25-24 win in Vegas. How would you describe it?
Roller
Ooh,
roller coaster. They took me on a roller coaster that game. Had my emotions everywhere. Toxic. The Bears are a toxic relationship.
that is a really good compound word. Things I've heard so far has been described today as gutsy, clutch, culture, character, but I'm going to say needed.
I actually agree with all those words
This
too.
win was needed. There was no way this team could start 1-3 going into that bye. 1-3 season is spiraling out of control. You're pointing a lot of more. You're pointing fingers at each other and probably pointing them at yourself. You're doubting yourself now. And with the schedule looking the way it is, everything gets a lot more cloudy. Now with 2-2, you're back to square one. You're back at week one. The season starts over.
5 games are real winnable because we
Yeah.
got two beat up teams. The Bengals definitely won't have Joe Burrow. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
those hamstrings are tricky. Lamar Jackson exited with a hamstring. Those are tricky.
Not just Lamar though.
Right, not just
Not just
Lamar.
Lamar.
Matabike's not back yet. There's a lot
No,
of
Matabike is not coming back at all.
wait,
He's done.
not at all. He's done.
Done for the season.
Wow, Bears got to take
They had a lot
advantage.
of injuries in that game. Yeah. We're getting ahead of ourselves. I think that game is like 3 weeks, 4 weeks
Yeah,
away.
you're right. For all we know, Ravens could kind of get healthy.
Yeah, they could. But Matabike won't be there. But yeah, out of the next 5 games, none of those teams are world beaters. The Commanders, who are up next, they don't know when Scary Terry's going to be back. Jaden Daniels has missed 2 straight games. Their defense hasn't looked impressive. They've taken a step back from where they were last season. You got the Saints on the schedule. You already know what you're getting out of them. As you already said, the Bengals, who knows what they'll look like in the next 3 weeks without Joe Burrow. The Ravens, they're dealing with a bunch of injuries, and their defense themselves hasn't been hasn't been great either. Derrick Henry's still putting the ball on the turf. And then there's the Giants. The Giants, right?
Very good game yesterday, but that's not sustainable. Not with we know better than anybody else what it's like to start a rookie quarterback. It's a roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as you make them throw the ball and get them uncomfortable, mistakes can happen. It's natural.
No Malik Neighbors. Yeah, they're speaking of injuries, Malik Neighbors, he's done for the
Man,
season.
that's
So
unfortunate.
very,
All I can say is I'm glad he's
very
not on any of
unfortunate.
my fantasy teams because that hurts.
Yeah, I've got 2 out of 5 with him,
Dang.
man.
I got 0 out of 8 shares of Malik Neighbors.
But as they say with football, next man up. You got to figure out the path going forward. And going forward with the Bears. Bears exit this game going into the bye week 2-2. Raiders are now 1-3, searching for answers. They may or may not come across those answers anytime soon, but we don't care about them. We are here to talk about the good guys, the home teams, the Chicago Bears 2-2. Q, as we always do on Mondays after the game. Good, bad, and ugly. There's a lot of not as many goods from this game as we had last week, Q, but I'm gonna let you kick it off. What's your good from this game?
Oh man, there's actually 3 guys that were good. And I don't know. I feel like it's a disservice if I don't get all 3 of them. And I know Tiff hates when I always give Caleb the good, but you know, he won an ugly game, and Max Crosby was creating chaos. And Caleb, man, to not get sacked by Max and to lose the pressure that way, I don't think people realize how good of a job he did inside the pocket, his awareness, his ability to step up. But that's not who I'm going to give my good to. I got to give my good to the veteran, the old dog, Kevin Byard. Those interceptions, those turnovers were critical, as we know from watching football. I think if you win the turnover battle, the team that wins the turnover battle wins 65 to 70% of the time. And Kevin Byard definitely did a good job reading Geno Smith's eyes in coverage. Felt like he really gave us a boost. And even though we didn't capitalize on those early interceptions with touchdowns, we got field goals out of them. And in a 1 point win, every point matters. So I got to go with my good being Kevin Byard, just the entire Bears secondary. They're down several key guys. We know Jalen's maybe out for the season, if not the majority of the season, certainly. Kyler Gordon won't be back until hopefully after the bye. Tyree Stevenson really stepped up too, and he's a guy that's much maligned. That was a very athletic pick. That was a good play. The Bears weren't very good in run support, but he was good tackling. Um, my good has to be the Bears secondary, just timely plays and backups being there because I think McLeod got hurt too. We just had a bunch of guys who weren't expected to play a lot this year. So the Bears secondary is my good because I know the Raiders don't exactly yield a bunch of Pro Bowl talent wide receiver, but Trey Tucker is a speedy guy. Had a very good game last week. Jacoby Myers is a very solid veteran, another guy with good speed. Brock Bowers is a dynamic tight end. So they have guys on the outside. And for the Bears to not allow that big throw, that back breaking reception, got to give my good to the secondary and specifically Kevin Byard.
Yeah, the secondary is a good shout. I had them on my list as well as I got Tory Taylor with a very clutch punt. That's just a
Man,
2-yarder that
man.
dropped dead at the 1 yard line. That was a clutch thing.
Listen,
We talked about
make me feel better about that fourth rounder. I'll never feel better about that fourth round pick drafted a punter as long as Bucky Irvin is alive. But I was grateful for Tory Taylor yesterday.
yeah, definitely. And just to piggyback on your secondary, 2 weeks ago they were embarrassed in Detroit.
Yes.
They had 52 points hung on them, and they've responded beautifully. You mentioned Stevenson and Byard. They look like, they've answered the call. They've answered the call against the pass.
Big
So
hits too.
that's a good shout.
Big hits. You
Yeah.
said a couple
Huh.
weeks ago those big hits. Byard laid one on, was it Turpine last week against the Cowboys?
It was Turpin.
And it kind of resonates in the back of the head of the opposing team's receiving core when they see one of their own get laid out
Hmm.
like that. When they got to pick their mans up.
Hmm.
Kevin Byard laid somebody else out again. I like to see good, clean hits to make a team think about it. Not getting penalized, not leading with the crown of the head or hitting defensive receivers. It's a physical game, and the physical team wins. That's part of setting the culture too. Make people pay for it.
That's correct.
You're not just gonna get 20, 30-yard receptions and walk up, pop back up ahead to the huddle. No, you're gonna pay for it. If you want it bad, you're gonna pay for it, and you might have to leave the game.
There was also in versus the sideline reporter coming out of the halftime. Uh, there was that. You cannot discuss a win without talking about the Caleb's game-winning drive. His fourth game-winning or game-tying drive late in the fourth quarter. Fourth is his career. But you know what? I'm going to zig a little bit. My good is the Bears fans. Bears fans showed up in Vegas and they showed out. Shout out to Tiff. They took over Vegas, had a great weekend in the desert. Made me feel like one day I got to get on. I got to get on the Chicago takeover wave.
We definitely need to do a preview from wherever the next Chicago takeover is. We got to go.
That's on the list.
The show has to be there.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe one day we'll do that. Previewing the show before the Bears play in Santa Clara in February. Maybe.
Man, I would love.
Maybe.
It's coming. It's coming soon.
Yeah. So that's my good, man. I just love seeing all the. I got a lot of friends or acquaintances all up and down my social media showing up in Vegas. Some of us at the game. You know, my boy Bullet. He was at the game. Yeah. I never get tired of seeing people waving the flag. Whether it's on some some gang shit or maybe it's just for the squad, maybe it's just for the Chicago. I love to see that type of stuff, especially when you can leave safe and you can leave with that W. So Bears fans, congratulations on a successful trip. Because there's been some child takeovers that didn't end with all the good feels. You started with the vibes and you didn't leave with the vibe. But this one, all roses.
Yeah,
Shout out.
shout out to the fan base. We haven't had the most success in this decade, but I will say fan base may complain, but the fan base for the Bears is pretty unwavering. We gonna pack Soldier
Mm-hmm.
Field. We gonna pack whoever else stadium when we do the takeover. So yeah, definitely shout out to Bears fans being good, loyal fans. Got to be top 3 fan base in the NFL.
And then if we don't, we just gonna pack y'all up.
There we go. Don't make us get violent.
That's an excellent segue to the bad. As you called this game a roller coaster, there was equal good with equal bad, and there is so much. But bad on my list, I've got the fake trick plays. They were kind of funny to me. You got Swift and the Russian offense. You got the rushing defense. It was a lot of bad, but I'm gonna stick with the rushing defense here, Q. I think that was the cream of the crop of the bad from this game. Um, Everybody said it. Everybody. This could be the week that Jonty breaks out. And Jonty broke out. He literally broke out. 3 scores in which there was a point of attack tackle missed. He just broke.
It's bad.
The dude is built like Jerry from the Tom and Jerry commercials, and no one put a hat
Jerry?
on him. Yeah, muscular Jerry on the TRT. That's what Jonty is built like. First touchdown. After they got done glazing Noah Sewell, he couldn't wrap up Jonty in the flats. It made no sense. Why does he have that neck roll on? But bro, you supposed to be laying shit out if you got a neck roll.
Yeah, you know what? The neck roll is for badasses. The badass 80s, 90s linebacker. Come on, man. When I think of the neck roll, I don't think Urlacher wore one much of his career, but I think of Urlachers. I think of
Brian Cox.
Brian Cox, yeah, not the Brian Cox that came to Chicago, the one that was in Miami, dealing pain to ball carriers in the hole. I think of guys like Luke Kuechly. I think of Patrick Willis. That's my neck roll. Once I get my hands on you, you're going down. He looked like the neck roll version of Brian Bosworth, the Seahawks bust that got ran over by Bo Jackson. Can somebody take Noah Sewell's neck roll? You don't deserve it.
Why they was doing all Adam Archuleta. He didn't. I don't pay that much attention to the on game call because I'll be locked in on what I'm looking at, and I'll be doing a lot of rewinding and fast forward and all that stuff too. But they was all on Newell the play before the touchdown. Like, oh yeah, it was great coverage. I'm looking at it like, hmm? Like he tripped, and it was just a bad pass. It just looked. He was lucky he didn't get scored on there. Then he got scored on the next play because he tripped over his feet again
If
and
you
couldn't
remember, he
tackle
got
Johnson.
burned in the Vikings game by Aaron Jones.
Yes, he
Spanked.
did. That was him too.
Now, when is TJ coming back? I miss TJ.
He needs to be very soon, hopefully, because Tremaine Edmonds wasn't too much better to this game. After a great game, but he wasn't too much better this game. He
We,
was
we
pretty
have
much
to address
non-existent.
the linebackers run fits, because I think that's obviously we got to improve along the defensive line. But for 2026, we got to get better linebackers against the run. There's just not enough
Hmm.
tackles being made at the line of scrimmage and behind the line of scrimmage by the linebackers. I don't know if it's got to be an instinct thing. They don't read it quick enough.
And that's a good shout because I noticed on a good amount of plays that Andrew Billings was getting good push. So it wasn't necessarily we was losing the line of scrimmage battles. It was just that no one was getting into the hole. The hole was wide as hell.
Yeah,
No one was filling the
that's what I'm
gaps.
saying. The run fits are bad from the linebackers. They've been bad for a couple years now.
Hmm. I don't get it. I don't. And this is the second year in a row. Rush defense was terrible after being so good for like 2, 3 seasons before that.
Definitely was really good early in the Eberflus days.
Hmm. Second touchdown for Austin Johnson. You gave Byard your game ball and you're a good segment for the safety. Last line defense. The
Yeah, I know.
safety has to be
I know.
yes. He took a terrible angle.
Took a
He
terrible angle and then couldn't
could,
get him on the ground.
could not. I'm glad he made up for it against the pass because that right there had me about to about to flip a car outside. I was about to flip somebody's Geo Metro. I was mad as hell.
And for future reference, I think Jonty is around 5'7", 5'8", but he's like 215. He is a stout, dedicated weight room dude. You cannot try to pull him down on the upper body. That's never going to work with a guy with that center of gravity. You got to get him around the waist, Byard.
The third touchdown that Jonty scored, I believe this one was a pass. This was when the Raiders got into the red zone, and this was in the second half of the game.
Yeah.
He caught the pass right in the middle of the field, and it was a head-up play. One-on-one. I don't know why you couldn't take this guy down. But he just shook him off. I believe that was Tremaine, or it was a Sewell again. I'm blanking on whoever that
I
was.
know I saw Sewell not be able to get him on the ground more than one time.
Yeah. So whoever that was, it was one-on-one, middle of the field, and you lost that battle bad. He had his back to the goal line. So it's like I don't know why you couldn't win that battle. It wasn't like a head up. It wasn't like a Oklahoma drill where you just lost, just low man wins that. In the NFL, running backs win Oklahoma drills most of the time anyway. This one, it really pissed me off, but can't be too mad at it. The Bears actually won the game. So yeah, the rush defense for the Bears is incredibly bad. We were lucky to win this game, but you can't give up 240 yards of rushing
That is
offense
crazy.
and
That looked
expect to
like a
win a
high
game.
school. That's what happens in mismatched high school football games.
Hmm. Not professional. Only reason you won this game because the passing offense for the Raiders was so bad. They turned the ball over 4 times. You win the turnover battle. You're gonna have to win a turnover battle if you're gonna lose the rushing battle so drastically.
My bad was Braxton Jones getting replaced by a guy who's an undrafted free agent in the middle of the game. You didn't even make it. You didn't even make it to the film session. They didn't even have to look and see what you did bad. They saw it live, real time. And we've been on Braxton case for a couple of years on this podcast, and it's finally come to fruition. We might have seen the last of Braxton Jones in a Bear uniform, as this is his fourth year. The rookie deal is over. We probably seen the last of him, right?
I knew he got benched. I knew he wasn't hurt.
Yeah,
It was
I
getting
thought
the tackles were just bad that first half, and but if you saw the intensity, you saw Ben's intensity with the sideline reporter. I know he laid into that team. I know he got on their ass in that locker room. Um, but after Tyreek made the interception, first play of the second quarter, and then the Bears got the up ball back, it was right there. Ozzie Trapillo at right, and Theo back at left. They didn't really speak to Braxton being pulled, but they showed him on the sideline. He had his helmet. What are you when you're injured?
they
What's
take
the
your
first thing
helmet.
they take from you?
They take your helmet.
Exactly.
You go right to that blue
He ain't
stinger.
hurt. hmm He ain't hurt. And after the game, he was told not to discuss what happened, not to discuss his benching or whatever. So he couldn't talk about it to the media. And when Ben was asked, Ben said, and I quote, "No one of note couldn't finish this game." Q. Cardi B just came out with an album called "Am I the Drama." Ben, 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 there's some drama in his locker room, Ben. Oh man, that's telling, right? Yeah, I don't know if this is the end of Braxton Jones because we just so thin at that position because we don't really. I mean, because you usually only dress your two starters in a swing.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's the end because we're so thin, but it is going to be hard for him to come back from this.
it probably would take an injury. I think they're probably going to move forward with Theo Benedict, and hopefully we can find a more permanent solution next season. But yeah, it looks like it's probably
Mm,
Theo. Um, Darnell Wright, get well soon. But boy, that seat that you're sitting on, that's got to feel really warm. The false starts. Actually, Darnell Wright is he's actually in pass pro and run blocking. He's actually been pretty decent. But Darnell Wright, you
it's
get
just the flags.
the flags. Darnell Wright, Jonah Jackson, you're another one. Ben ain't playing around. Ben is not
hmm
here to coddle anybody or to have extreme patience. You're going to produce. This is a new era of Bear football. People are going to be held accountable.
Yeah, I mean it's out there. Whew, that was out of everything that happened yesterday. That one was the one that got me like, ooh, okay, that's gonna be fun to talk about. Um, yeah, you said flags, and that's been a thorn in the Bears' ass all since they started doing OTAs. So we can push that right to the ugly. I think you know where I'm going with this.
Are you going to hit number 85?
Number 85 was too prominent in this game.
Yeah. It's for the wrong reason.
Cole DeMarcus Commett. Not only are you out there auditioning to play defense because he was not catching the ball, he was out there batting passes down. Um, Not only were you
He
doing
looks
that,
like he's a volleyball player too.
not only was he doing that, but on two separate occasions he had false starts. One, this if Colston Loveland wasn't hurt, and if we weren't in a position where we was starting a undrafted guy at left tackle, uh, a rookie at right, with Max Crosby out there causing all type of damage. If we weren't in that type of position, Cole would have been yanked at this point.
Man,
At this point, he would have been yanked the same way Braxton got yanked. It was 4th-1 after an injury timeout. We get out there and false start, number 85. How many times has we seen this team get flagged coming out of a timeout, coming out of the halftime, coming out of a change of quarter? It's situations in which you should already have, you know, you already know the play, you know the cadence. It's not no type of stadium noise you got to deal with. You're already processing what you need to do, and you still f up. At that point right there, I'd have been like, "Hey, 85, you're done for the day. Go ahead, hit the shower early, bro."
every time you see a mistake, um, Ben Johnson's head gets redder and redder and redder. um, yeah, and I know Ben is on their asses. Um, Eventually people are going to start paying the toll for penalties is going to be your playing time. because I don't
Mm.
think Ben is, like I said, Ben ain't effing around. So, yeah, the Cole Kmet thing. I mean, besides dropping the ball, I don't hold the one. First of all, Caleb threw an incredible ball towards the sideline, escaped. It was just incredible. I don't hold that one too much against Cole because that was a tough one. But man, dropping that ball in the middle
No,
of
no,
the
I got to cut you off, Q. My bad, but that one right there, if it wasn't after the first drop, I would be with you. I wouldn't hold it against him. But the pass was at a spot where only Cole Kmet could catch the ball, right? Only, and he got both thumbs in, and the pass hit him in between both palms. You got to bring that in, guy. I'm sorry, man. You a professional football player. That's a
50
pass you
million.
got to catch. I don't
You
care how difficult you.
if I'm correct, Cole Kmet is one of the top 10 highest paid tight ends in the league too.
You are correct.
Um, you a veteran here. You this is Cole's fifth, sixth year here. I mean, he's been here since the Nagy
Yeah.
regime.
Hmm.
So, um, but the one in the middle of the field, that one is just absolutely inexcusable. If he didn't score, because the momentum was leading towards the end zone, even though there was a safety over him, Cole's a big dude. He was going to be inside the two. The next play, I think Caleb got sacked for like a. Was it Caleb that got sacked, or was that the bad snap? I think that was the bad snap. The next play, you took Cole Kmet
Yeah.
dropping that
Bad
ball
snap.
took them out of field goal position. Took points off the board.
The Bears red zone offense, that could be also ugly too. And there was a lot of issues now with their ability to convert in the red zone. Whether it be on third down, you got Caleb having to he was getting sacked. You had that errant snap. You had the flags. It was a lot of issues in which the defense gave them great field position and they couldn't convert. This is mostly a first half thing, but there was a lot of ugly. I mean, you said the game was a roller coaster. There's good, there's bad, and there's some ugly. All of it in sequence. Whew, yeah, but the Cole number 85, Cole Komet, and that was a rough game from you, bro. What you got, Q?
Since you stole my run defense ugly, and you stole my Cole Kmet ugly, because they were both ugly. I mean, they're
Mm-hmm.
ugly as in 5 shots, 2 a.m. You're still not leaving the bar with me ugly. They're that ugly. But even uglier, maybe 7 shots, comatose, still not leaving the bar with you, was the Bears running game. Um,
Yes.
and I think another guy's on notice, DeAndre Swift. You saw Kyle Monangai get in there, have a little bit more success. He took 4 carries, 18 yards. That's a 4 yard per carry average. While DeAndre Swift putted along, we talked about 3.5, a Trey 5. We not asking for DeAndre, but we asked for a Trey 5. And you asked how confident I was. I couldn't give you a 5 that he was going to be confident. I gave you a solid 4, and he still didn't do it against a not good run defense. The problem with DeAndre Swift, he's an athletic guy. You get in the open field, he's difficult. He can make you miss in the open field. He can run away from guys, but he struggles with the vision. That's been a knock, and he doesn't create well. If the hole isn't there, he doesn't see the other hole opening up. You know, the freaky ladies tell you that there's more than one hole. DeAndre Swift, you got to treat the run game like there's more than one hole. There's oftentimes 3 holes. Use them all. Now one may be tighter than the other, but it can yield just as good results. Got to get in that hole, DeAndre. DeAndre's just not seeing it. I gotta watch this game in deeper detail. But I've noticed, watching other games, there might be a cutback available that DeAndre doesn't see, or he doesn't, or he's not patient enough to let the hole open. Kyle Monangai was much more successful. Um, like I said, average 4 yards per carry, and at this point, I'll settle for it. But 26 carries, 69 yards. That's not good enough running the ball. And Ben Johnson has let it known that he wants to run the ball. And to Ben Johnson's credit, uh, he's stuck with the run game. He's given it every opportunity. I cannot blame Ben. We saw under the Nagy era the run game not be successful, but that's because they're not getting a chance. Mitch was throwing the ball 43 times, while we ran the ball 15, 16 times. Ben is sticking with the run. So at this point, it might be time for another guy to get some more carries. I would love to see Kyle Monangai get north of 6 or 7 carries.
We talked about it in the last episode. It's about that time we start seeing Roshan start get back into the thing of things. You know, he got to get out the doghouse at some point because what the two-headed rushing attack the Bears got now, in addition to Caleb, it's not yielding any. It's
Because
not yielding the type of results
at
that we
this
need.
point, what would you lose if you just took DeAndre Swift out the rotation? What would you lose? I get he's a veteran. Um, he actually showed up pretty well in pass blocking situations, but Roshan is very good in pass blocking situations. And DeAndre dropped an easy layup of a
My
pass.
God.
He
Oh my
dropped one
God.
where he had some green in front of him. You know, Kyle Monangai is a very good receiver. He's shown that. Showed that in the Vikings game. I think Kyle, he caught like 3 or 4 passes. He's been very good in as a receiver out the backfield. At this point, I'm not the biggest Roshan guy. I'm not the biggest fan of Roshan. I think he lacks a lot of change of direction and wiggle that you need from a top end running back or even just a good feature back. I think he shows some power, but every time he shows power, he's under the blue tent. So it's like,
Mm.
what do you do with it? But at this point, like you said, you got to see if another guy can be more productive, because running around here at 2.8 yards a carry, whatever DeAndre Swift is averaging right now, that just won't cut it. I got to think somebody can at least get us 3 yards a carry, at least get us three. I mean, is it crazy to ask for four, the league average? I'm not even asking for a Saquon Jameer Gibbs 5.5 yards per carry. I just want to at least get out of third and second and long when we run the ball.
At this point, I don't know what kind of fix you can do because it's like running on a hamster wheel every time we decide to run the ball. And this game was the worst of worst. There was bad handoffs. I mean, there was bad vision. That pass, I think that was the first drive of the game in which Caleb's trying to get the ball to DeAndre in the flat where it was basically a check down because he couldn't get, he was getting chased and he had to get rid of the ball. And the pass was right there on his hip and he just booted it. I'm like,
And,
come
and
on,
he
bro.
had some
I
green in
don't
front
know,
of him.
man.
He had some green.
Yeah. I don't know at this point. I mean, I already said that you can start dialing back his snaps because the running game needs some motion. Swift ain't got the motion right now.
Let me ask you a question. Is it time to see your locked brother Ian Wheeler? I brought him up. Is there a
You know what,
doctor in the house?
man?
Can we get Dookie Howser back there? Can we get Dookie Howser back there yet?
Since Kyron Abagaji's out the way, I guess we can have an opening for a nerd on the squad. Let's see what Ian got, man.
Hey, he might be able to calculate the precise angle to the hole. You know, he's a smart guy.
You know what? That's exactly what we need. We need somebody who can actually use their geometry to our advantage. The shortest distance between point A and point B is a straight line. DeAndre don't run straight lines, so
DeAndre doesn't run a straight line. Doesn't see. Does he still got that dark visor on? Get the visor out. Get the goddamn visor out, buddy. Come on. You can't see nothing. He running like he got too much tent. I wish the Chicago police would pull him over. Go right to Soldier Field, pull that dude over. He, he got too
got too
much
much
tent on the
time.
windows. He can't see what's going on.
Just like they did Bud over the weekend.
Man, how you do the King of Omaha like that?
I bet you a good portion of Omaha don't even know who Terrence Crawford is.
And that's a damn shame. He's the best thing to come out of Omaha since Peyton Manning.
Yeah, but Peyton's not really from Omaha, but I guess like we said earlier in the show, facts don't really matter.
Exactly. Facts don't really matter. You can't take the King down. Bud Crawford, that's the biggest tragedy to happen since another King was taken down. We saw last year.
Tua Tagovailoa.
No matter how many times you play that clip, it never ceases to be funny. I don't think Trump can read. Not only can he not run the White House, I don't think that guy can read. Where did he get them extra syllables from?
All right, what else? What else we got?
Headed to the bye week with good vibes.
Right, need to get healthy. They say Kyler might have played this game, but he was a late scratch. TJ, hopefully he's back for Washington.
I'm not mad at them sitting Kyler again. after seeing Jalen go down in a pass breakup, and it was a good pass breakup. I'm okay with waiting till Kyler is absolutely healthy. We don't need no more setbacks in that secondary. Kyler will be a welcome addition back. I know he's not necessarily a front seven guy, but Kyler is very good in run support. So I think that'll help the run defense a lot because we've seen Kyler get in the backfield. He's good at blitzing. That'll be a welcome sight back. And I even speculated when you asked earlier in the season that maybe a healthy Kyler Gordon might be more important to this scheme than Jalen Johnson, just from all the things he can do in a Dennis Allen as a chess piece for Dennis Allen.
Just because definitely we not getting home on these blitzes. So I
We
mean,
not getting
it
home on
would
these
definitely.
blitzes. We don't have anybody stopping the back of the line of scrimmage. Kyler does both things well, and he can
Mhm,
cover.
mhm. So hopefully we got Kyler, Grady, and TJ back when we go to DC out on the other side of this bye. But that's a whiles away. Let's celebrate this. Let's relax, get healthy.
Speaking of Calluses and Grady Jarrett, I wanted to give a little shout out. I saw Shamar Turner putting in some work. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I saw him being disruptive. That's always good when you see a second round pick and in this new regime getting out there, getting active. Still has a lot to learn. He's green, but definitely like some of the things I saw from him.
It's a work in progress, and I'll take it. I will take the progress at 2-2. 1-3 would have been bad work,
Could have been 3-1.
and that's a great way to look at it. Q. We're really a 3-1 team if you actually think about it.
Yeah, dominated those Vikings for about 50 minutes. 50 minutes, and then
Mm-hmm.
we let JJ.
50 out of 60.
Yeah, then we broke down the last couple minutes, and I think that game was a great learning experience. That is an example of how we've grown. By the way, the Minnesota game looked like a lot of games under the Eberflus era. You put together a good half of football, a so-so half, and then don't know how to close the game out. The Raiders game looked like a
Mm-hmm.
turning point. We've been doing this show for 3 years, almost the entire Eberflus era since Eberflus' second year.
Mm-hmm.
How many post game reviews do we come back to and we just didn't close the game out? Broncos game, I think we were up 28-7.
Damn near half of them.
The
Mm-hmm.
Broncos game, the Lions, hell,
Cleveland
two of
game.
the Lions games. You know, we could probably go through about 10, 11 games where we sat here on a Monday afternoon, Monday evening, and talked about what went wrong down the stretch and how we didn't close the game. So it's good to be sitting here on a Monday on the other side, actually closing the game out and having that grit and not looking confused and helpless at the end of the game. And again, I want to point out once again another game winning drive by Caleb. This time it counts because we didn't blow it. And also just being very calm and leading the team down the field when you knew you needed 7. You knew you needed 7. And Caleb calmly directed them down the field. And man, I just want to again highlight the passing numbers were pretty average. I don't think he had a bad game passing the ball. But man, the pocket presence and avoiding the negative plays, the numbers
That's my
ain't going to
quarterback.
suggest it, but I thought that was actually one of Caleb's best games just managing the team from that
Mm-hmm.
perspective. Because Max Crosby was a monster. He looked like an ICE agent going after an elite with the way he was after Caleb. Speaking of which, before we got on, I saw an illegal get on a bike on Wacker Drive, and he weaved in and out of ICE agents. DeAndre need to take notes of
Do
that.
that.
Yeah, I didn't want to say the wrong thing, but DeAndre, you gotta avoid stuff. Have a little more perseverance.
I think that's a great way to end
I
the
think we
show.
should end the show now. I think you're right. Let's bear down and get out of here. Let's bear down and get up out of here. But things get bad.
Thanks for listening to this latest episode from the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan Channel. Don't matter if you listen to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or watch it on Twitch or YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, share with a friend, Hit the notification bell so you never miss a drop. And to all the guys from Chicago, we say three things: bear down, go Cubs, go, and sell the team, Jerry.